How you doing, my family and friends? So as I was driving in this morning, and I'm thinking to myself, what's the difference? What makes people successful and what makes people unsuccessful, right? How could you take 100 individuals at 25 years old and do an analysis of those 100 individuals until they turn 65, and only one of those persons will be very, very, very rich, 4 will be financial independent, 54 will be just getting by, and the rest will fall by the wayside into addiction, early death, sickness, prison, and so forth, right? So what's the difference between the individuals? Because where I come from, my culture is impacted by poverty a lot of times. And it has to do with having a poverty mindset. My culture, my people, where I come from, we're impacted and we live for the most part in poverty that continues to get passed down from generation to generation to generation. So I was thinking to myself, why is that, right? And there's a few reasons why that is. One is a spiritual issue. That's the first thing. Spiritually, you're not right with yourself. You don't really know who you are, and you're not operating with the right principles, living by certain laws, certain rules, certain commandments. You're not following that. So you're gonna misdirect yourself. You're gonna get the wrong influence, and you're gonna follow the wrong trends, the wrong examples, and so forth. But another thing is that when it comes to money, you have to study money, and you have to know what money is and what is it for and what's the purpose of it. You have to study this, because if not, you'll end up getting it and you won't know what to do with it. And some of us, for whatever reason, we like to hoard cash. And hoarding cash means that you could have 20,000, you could have 10,000, you could have 20,000, 30, and it gives you a sense of satisfaction knowing that you have it there. You're not buying nothing with it. You're just gonna go from 10 to 20 to 30 to 40 to 50, and you wanna know that it's there because it makes you feel good. It makes you feel secure. It, you could always be like, I got this money so I could get whatever I want, and you could go spend $500 and buy a pair of shoes, or take a vacation, or buy a certain type of car and still have money left over. And it kind of makes you feel like you're successful, because you look around you and most of the people, they're struggling. So people constantly coming to you and asking for you, yo, could you lend me $500? Could you lend me $1,000? Could you lend me $200? And you always feel like, like you're successful because of that. Meanwhile, you caught up in the rat race, and if a problem hits that's big enough, it'll wipe out all your money. So if you have 10, 20,000 and your family gets into a certain situation, a certain problem, a certain issue that needs to be taken care of right away, that money's gonna go right away, because they're gonna be like, no, give me, you have it, let me get it. And it could be with somebody close to you that you just gonna give the money up, because you're gonna want to fix a problem, and then you're gonna be broke again. And then there's another individual that their mindset is, let me keep up with the Joneses. Let me get my money, and let me buy a car that I really can't afford. Let me move into a neighborhood that I really can't afford. Let me buy clothes that let me shop at these places, because I worked a couple of years ago on Saks Fifth Ave, and when I was walking around the stores looking at the prices from the stuff that they sell there, and I wanted a pair of sneakers, man. I saw a pair of sneakers there, right? There was expensive sneakers. I saw them there, and I said, man, I'm gonna get those sneakers, right? But now, when I looked at the price, because it didn't have the price, so I did investigating. I said, how much these sneakers cost? Because I'm trying to get them. They said the sneakers cost $875. I said, man, it's not my time right now. It's not my time right now. I cannot spend $825 on a pair of sneakers. No. That's not gonna happen. That's an electrical panel. That's an electrical panel. That's wiring up. An electrical panel costs that much. It costs $1,200 to get the meter inspected. It costs $1,800. So I said no. And then when I wire up the electrical panel and I rent the unit, then I'm gonna get those $875 every month. And then if I feel like it, I'll buy the sneakers. I'll do that. But I'm not gonna take money that I'm working for, my 9 to 5, and spend it on a pair of sneakers. And that money's not being flipped. That money's not being invested. So you got that individual. They, you know, I saw t-shirts that cost $700 and $500 and $300. A lot of money, man, for cloth, for cotton. So I said, no, that's not it right there. That's not it. Right then you have the other individual that they're gonna take their money that they get and they're gonna invest it. They're gonna invest it in the stock market, they're gonna invest it in real estate, they're gonna invest it in a business, they're gonna invest it in something, and they're gonna do that over time. And they can invest it, and the investment can fail, but their mindset is, no, I gotta invest. And sooner or later, it's gonna click if you continue to do it, because what happens is when investing is that it's never immediate gratification. You know, 9 times out of 10, you might get lucky. You might be fortunate one time where it's a big bang and you come up real quick. But for the most part, is investing is over time, is a mindset. It's slowly but surely you repeating the process, doing something over and over again with small amounts of money that as time goes by, it will increase. You know, it will be more valuable. That's how it is when you invest in gold, when you invest in real estate, when you invest in Bitcoin, when you invest in stocks. You know, it's over time, and then compound interest works in your favor and so forth. And those are the individuals that become financially independent, and those are the individuals that end up becoming rich. So now look, to get into that space right there and have that mindset, you're gonna have to look outside of your environment. You're gonna have to get up around certain individuals that are like-minded, that think that way. You're gonna have to feed yourself, you're gonna have to feed your brain with that influence, with that information, and not have the fear of taking the risk. Because fear is what stops us too. No, I'm not gonna work and take my money, and then whatever about if it don't go right. So now you're saying if. Now you're going off of an assumption. So instead of me saying if it don't go right, I'm gonna continue to say when it goes right, or if it goes right. I'm never gonna say if it don't go right, or that it's gonna fail. No, I'm not. I'm gonna rebuke that right there. I'm gonna cancel that right there. I'm always gonna tell myself when it goes right, and I'm gonna be in a state of expectation of it going right. I don't care how long it takes, and I did it. You know, I did it over the past 20 years, a whole bunch of times, and it doesn't go right initially, but as time went on, it kind of straightened itself out. Because when you think about what I did, and I went to a rural area where there was no movement, no deserted, nothing going on up there, and I'm taking thousands and thousands of dollars, and just it's straight like playing Monopoly. You know, I understood the game Monopoly, and when I understood the game Monopoly, and this is what the book Rich Dad and Poor Dad talks about. When I understood about the game of Monopoly, I said, man, the person that owns the most property is the one that wins the game. So I said, I'm gonna take my little bit of money, I'm gonna put it down, and even if I get somebody to pay to sustain, even if I don't make money, I'm still in a good position, because as inflation comes, as time passes on, it's gonna continue to increase. And I learned that right away. I had proof of concept. Immediately I had proof of concept, because I learned that somebody was willing to pay for something that I own. You see what I'm saying? And yes, it's a sacrifice. You gotta keep your foot on the gas. You gotta be persistent, and you gotta learn as you go along. But wow, man, it's like life-changing that, you know, that I did it. You know, because it put my mind in a whole different level. It put my life in a whole different bracket. You see what I'm saying? And that's what I would say. We can't continue to be stuck out here. So you know, you got to get outside of yourself, and you got to reach out, and it has to do with being humble and learning and being willing to take the risk. You know, because this curse of being in poverty, generation after generation after generation, nah, that's not it right there. And let me leave it at that right now, because I just got to the job site. A once upon a time felon, unashamed for Christ, forever saved.